Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday morning, day before the long weekend. How is everyone doing? Hello, Patrick. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, Dave. Nice for you to drop in. Hope you're having fun at the Masters. Afternoon, Charles. Hey, George. Good morning, Donald. Good morning, Options 22. Where are the likes? Let's get some likes going. By the way, sorry, I forgot to say happy Passover to everybody yesterday. Happy Easter and happy Good Friday to everybody tomorrow. No live streams tomorrow. No live streams. Just take it off. I mean, the futures are closed early. So we're just wrapping up the week today. We'll see. My advice is don't get chopped up. Don't lose money today. So far, very quiet trading. If you don't have a good setup, just wait. There'll be more good trade next week. We had the jobless claims this morning. Pretty decent miss. The upside, a lot of revisions higher. Lots of revisions higher. Let's just get to the numbers. So jobless claims expected to come in under 2K, coming in at 237. Continuing, expected to come in under 1700, coming in at 1825, 1823. The prior numbers. Continuing claims revised from the last time of 1.689 to 1.817. And the new numbers, where is that? Last week's claims was revised from 198 to 246. The week before revised from 199 to 247. The week before revised from 192 to 230. So employment starting to tip over. Will the Fed pause with this? Remember, we got the non-farm payrolls number tomorrow. So that will be interesting, but you'll get back to trading on Monday. All right, let's see. Good morning, Royal Palms. Hey, Paul. When do the banks start reporting this month? I think we'll just, let me take a look at that. Hold on. Let's see. Let's just take a quick look. When are the next earnings dates? Oh boy, it's going to take me a bit. Could somebody type it in? Just Google it. It's going to take me too long right now. It didn't pop up on the first try. If somebody could punch that in, but it's coming up. I think it starts the end of next week. Good afternoon, Eric. Good morning, Brad. Oh, thank you. Friday the 14th. Yep, that's what I thought. All right, end of next week. I was correct. It was rattling around somewhere in our brain. Good morning, Anissa. Yeah, Charles, with the info. Who cares about First Republic? Let's go for the big ones. All right, tomorrow we got unemployment numbers. So far this morning, there we go. It refreshed. We have mega caps down except for Google. Costco, after they're issuing some guidance, down almost 3% since last night they issued guidance. So that's pulling back. Little pullback there. Groups, let's just refresh this. So technology, consumer cyclical. So far looking like a risk-off day. Healthcare, industrials, utilities going into some more consumer defensive aspects and coming out of the more speculative aspects. The pause, I gotta refresh this. The stuff is moving pretty still good this morning, but that doesn't mean there'll be some trades. Come on, CME Group. It was 60-40 for the pause. 64, and it's looking like the 60-40 for pause, and then still pricing in cuts back down to 4 to 4.25 by December meeting. Fear and greed still in neutral. Good Friday. Remember, energies are closed tomorrow. Equities early close. Interest rates and FX also early close. So do keep that in mind. Also, where do we sit? In terms of gamma flip, right now we're trading 41.09. The gamma flip is 41.13, so we're right at neutral gamma again. Anything the upside, dealer selling into the downside, you get minor But we're so close to that, the gamma really doesn't start dropping. I'd really watch if we start taking out yesterday's low with momentum. That's really about it right there. And in terms of earnings, nothing. Well, you got Constellation Brands. I didn't even look at it. I missed that one, but I'll look at that after I'm done with the live stream. And Levi's after the close, but everything is very minor. So, what do we have going on? Again, we've had the sell-off. Little tried to spike up above this 41.20 and back in here. I'm watching, again, yesterday is Wednesday's lows. We take out Wednesday's lows and focus on 40.88 to 40.90. 40.88 to 40.90, which takes us back to the daily rotation zone and some minor support and pretty close. The highs for Monday the 6th were at 40.82, so that would be my next target. I'm expecting a slightly choppier day rather than a trend, but I'll look at the market internals to judge that. I'm not going to get sucked into any, if there's no patterns, there just aren't any patterns, and the next major support is not till 40.50. To the upside, if it does get some acceleration, remember we have to prepare for everything. I'm going to bump this up just because of the nature of today. If you're watching really short term, about 41.17, but then you're slamming into about 41.23, really you got to get above about 41.24 before I'm really interested in some longer term plays. Other than that, we're sitting in the consolidation area with the NASDAQ finishing the double pattern. Double pattern. This is just a sloppy mess down here. The only way I'm interested in the NASDAQ is above about 13,080. You can see here we finished that pattern really nice back to that 13,000 and the 50% harmonic from the run up. If we do break below that, let's just do our short-term harmonics. And minor would be 12,940 to about 12,960, and then major areas 12,902 to 12,894, but 12,902 on a closing basis. Okay, so breakdown play. Dude, this isn't yesterday's lows. I'm not focusing on yesterday's lows. I'm focusing on some of the lows created during the European session overnight, where we got the little spike bottom, finishing the double pattern, and that's the lows I'm focusing on with the NASDAQ. With the Dow still roughly in, you can see here on the 4-hour, it's a little triangle pattern holding the 4-hour rotation zone. We'll start watching the Dow below 33,500 for any short plays or above 33.7. If it's caught in this range, nothing. But again, I have to have internals confirming. Otherwise, nada, zip, zilch. On a down play, I mean, the Russell sort of holding up the best. If Russell breaks, though, with any momentum below the lows on Wednesday, the next key support area bumping this down just a hair to about 1738 to 1740. Let's just see where also I have to assess something here. Watch 1750 on a closing basis, 1749.7 technically. Right now we're in a little potential bounce zone. Let's just get straight to the spiders and the Qs. Spiders, gap 406.78. The final target, remember, is 405.55 for the spiders. Any upside play, I'd just be looking at yesterday's close, 407.60. Really, we're caught yesterday, key support coming in about 406.13. Other than that, there's just not a lot. Besides the gap fill play or the completion of the double, there's just not a lot going on in the spiders. The Qs, 314.23, 313.68 is the final target on the Qs, which is the bottom also of the 4-hour rotation zone. So pay attention to that. Other than that, the key thing would be to the gap fill, 315.85. In terms of the VIX, Still, unless we start getting momentum above 20, nah, I'll prepare still for choppies. DAX, rotation zone, but there's no great setups here. Just holding key support going into. Also remember, Europe has Easter Monday, so we can see some quiet trading until at least Tuesday there. Notes. The notes still has a potential double top. I need to going into the quieter session a 4-hour close below 116.11. But you see there's a fair amount of price rejection up here above this 116.23, but that's the only real pattern I'm keeping an eye on. 10 years, it would just be that little quick reversal pattern also above about 331. Yield curve based off the futures, still sitting in the major consolidation area. Looks like it's trying to carve out a new consolidation area well off the lows, so we'll keep an eye on that next week. Dollar index, a couple day bounce back to the rotation zone and breakdown area, but I'll be going into next week watching for a potential rollover play in that in the short term. Crude, sideways correction so far, but still very overbought. Again, I'm just keying off of Monday's lows or the breakout above Tuesday's highs. Natty gas, nothing. Might rotate back down to turn it into a triple bottom to never trigger that double bottom. Gold, pulling back. Again, we're watching for a major topping pattern. Cycles are at the top, but no major topping pattern just yet. So that's where we sit right now in terms of gold. I was just checking it, coming into key support. The key support area is about 2007 to 2016. Let's just get to something more important. 10 years on the Japanese still holding up around that 50. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. We still have the potential double. Also, front run pattern. If we do get a little momentum above yesterday's high and a confirming close, can be a front run pattern from a %B buy strategy setup. But that has to have tight stops on that front run pattern. Euro, just pull back to rotation zone. Starting to watch for a more significant topping pattern after hitting that 87.5, but nothing yet. The pound, there's just not been a lot of great setups. Pulling back to key support and the rotation zone, but not much to do there. Tesla, boy, 182.16. So besides the potential gap fill to 185.52, next key support is 178. 178. That gets pretty major, that 178 level, because we start breaking below that. We still have an unfilled gap, which could be a potential front run pattern to the major double top. You can see the major double top on the weekly. That also could take it back below the 200 on the weekly. So that's what I'm really watching for, although not necessarily today. Good morning, Jacob. Pfizer long target. Well, Pfizer, based off of, would have already hit my next long target at the 50. Above there, let me just check the weekly too. Above there, the next target, if you needed one, would be about 43. And it just peaked into the weekly rotation zone. So I'd be more watching to see if the support breaks at 40.91. 40.91 to 41. If you do, then I'd be watching for a retest of some of this key support between about 40 and 39.25, because this was a really yucky, sloppy sort of inverse head and shoulders. If you want some larger term targets and you want to try to do something with a head and shoulders, they would be, let's see. That would have hit the first and second target. So your final target would be 42.60. So if again on the next push up, 42.60 to 43. But first and second targets already hit, and utilizing that from a stop standpoint, which is still handy because right now you would the farthest away stop. I wouldn't actually keep a stop here at this point. The stop for me would be below about this 40.85 level if trailing still. But the farthest away stop you'd want was 40.35. You start breaking that, we should retest this low area also on a closing basis that's below 40.35. You're welcome, Heinrich. So that's the way, again, that's how you structure an analysis setup. All right, we're just peeking back just at the bigger picture. Still an inside day so far to yesterday. There is some major support just sitting below here. So don't get really sucked in unless we get a lot of weak or strong internals, unless we get some really strong momentum. But we could be unwinding. And also, it's not just because of the long weekend. We have non-farm payrolls tomorrow. And that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one, that number. Especially with the unemployment numbers coming out today, non-farm payrolls, and the revisions. I'm just going to touch on this now. We'll glance back at it at the end of today, but I'll be back this afternoon. But, unemployment rate forecast to be 3.5 to 3.6. We'll have to see if that pops up tomorrow. These numbers will be important because this is the last non-farm payrolls going into, remember, or is it, let's see, 27 days. When is the exact meeting? Hold on, let me just double check something. Don't want to misspeak. May 3rd. May 3rd. Let's just double check. Yeah, May 3rd. The next non-farm payroll should be May 5th. So this is the last non-farm payrolls before the May meeting. So that's very key. You are welcome, Richard. All right. With that, I will wrap it up. Let everybody go into the open. We'll be back for a quick session this afternoon. And then that's it until next week. Yes, FMOC on the 2nd and the non-farm payrolls on the 5th. So thank you again for confirming to make sure I don't make a Mr. Bungles. Everybody enjoy the Masters. If you're a golf fan, enjoy a nice long holiday weekend and a well-needed break from the market chaos. With that, I'll talk to everyone later. You're welcome, Charles. Bye for now.